In this video, I'll show you how I set up my Huion HS610 graphics tablet for use with Capture One Pro. This is an excellent value tablet and I'm really pleased with it. It's become my daily graphics tool. If you'd like to check out this tablet, there are Amazon links below and also links for Capture One Pro. A really big thank you to people who do use the links. It really does help out the channel. While you're here, why not give the video a great big thumbs up and also consider subscribing. Okay, so here we are at the Huion driver page for the HS610. Here it is, the latest version. I'll leave a link to this page in the YouTube description. Just scroll down and choose the latest version for your operating system. In my case, the beta here. Click download, like so, and it will download as a zip file. To install the driver, locate the file in your download folder, unzip it, locate the exe and execute it as you normally would. Once you've downloaded and installed the driver, you should end up with this little icon here on your taskbar. A little pen and tablet icon. Just click on it to open up the control panel. Once open, the first thing I did was to click on this Administrator Privileges button. I've no idea what it does. Probably something to do with giving access to the program in the operating system somewhere. I just clicked on it once and left it alone. It restarted the driver and that was that. I never touched it again. Okay, let's take a look at the settings. I think what we'll do is work our way down these separate sections one by one. First of all, the press keys. It has 12 buttons in 2 groups of 6. A touch ring and a little button to change the touch ring mode. It also has 16 soft keys which are accessed by pressing the tablet with your pen, but I don't use these soft keys so I won't mention them much at all. Now the keys and the touch ring and the soft keys and the buttons on the actual pen can be set up globally, as you can use them for Windows and all programs, or you can assign them individually for separate programs, which is a really handy feature. To assign for different applications, all we do is click on this little cog here, then go down to here and click on all apps. Then to add a new app, just click add app. Then look for your program on the list, scroll up and down. If your program isn't on the list, just hit browse and go into your machine and find the exe that you're looking for. Once you've found the required program, just double click on the exe, it will be added to the list, so you just click OK. Once you've done that, your application should appear in the application list. So when we select the drop down menu, here we have the list and we can select our app, or we can go all apps for setting a global function for a button or a key, or just select a single app. In this case, I'll select Capture One. And then just click Edit, like so. Okay, let's take a look how I've set up my keys and things. To set a button function, just select the button here. Once you've selected your required key, select the center box here, and up pops the settings dialog for the key. If you want to, you can set a custom name for the key. Just select the box and type in the name. You can select whether to use combinations of keys. In this case, I'm using a combination of keys. I have combination keys set, and I have the control options selected, and I typed 0. If I clear the string and turn this off, just temporarily clear everything from the key. Now if I select control, like so, up pops control in the box, then I select the box and press 0. The button now simulates control and 0. If I want to assign mouse operations to the button, I'll select mouse button and then one of the mouse operations. And you can switch functions and run programs. It's really flexible. Okay, next up I think we'll have a run through the keys to show my setup. Okay, select the first key, then select the box to bring up the panel. I've called it center screen, assigned control and 0, and that will fit the image to the screen instantly. And now for the second key. Let's select it and the box. Let's take a look what I've done. I've named it 100% as it zooms into 100% on the image, and it's just Control, Alt and 0. That's for my pixel peeping. Very nice. Then on key 3 I have Shrink Brush. So here we say it's a key, then no combination keys. Then I type the left bracket as that shrinks the brush in Capture One. Key 4 is Grow Brush. That's the same but with the right square bracket. Then the next key, key 5, I have the spacebar assigned to key 5. Let's take a look. Space, space. And I've selected space for key 5 because it's right next to the touch ring, and I use space for panning when I've got the brush selected. And on key 6 I have Control B to toggle the library. And what this does is just toggles between the full image and the library strip, the strip on the side where you select your images. It means I can just really quickly hide the strip, which when you want to edit can be a little distracting. Really nice. Okay, let's take a look at the touch ring. If I click on the touch ring here and then press the box, you can see it comes up with 00, 11 and 22. They are 3 different modes that you can assign left rotate and right rotate functions to, and they are selected using the little function button in the centre of the wheel here. Every time you press this key it switches modes. If I press this key now, you can see on the screen it flashes up as it switches modes on the tablet, which is really nice if you need to have more than one function for the touch ring in any program or situation. Select the ring again, and I've got them all set to, let's have a quick look, left rotate for wheel forward, right rotate for wheel backwards. Now that's the name obviously, and I've got them all set to the same thing. And I've done this because I like to have my touch ring to have one function per application. I won't be switching. Let's have a look at what I've put on the left rotate. On the left rotate, I've named it Zoom In. I've selected mouse button and then wheel forward, which means as I rotate my finger clockwise around the touch ring, it will zoom the display or zoom into the image, making it larger. And if I take a look at right rotate, as you can see, I've called it Zoom Out and selected mouse button and wheel backwards. This behaviour emulates the zooming in and out of the image with the mouse wheel. It's really handy, it's a great thing to use. Okay, let's continue looking at the keys. The next one on the list is key 7. I've got this assigned to Control and Z. We'll take a look. Control plus Z for undo, as that is undo in Capture One and most of the programs. And I've got key 8 assigned Control Y, as that is redo, which means I have undo and redo in a handy place on the tablet. Now, while we're on this screen, it's worth noting that you can enable and disable the keys. You can enable or disable the physical keys here if you don't want to accidentally press them. You can also enable or disable the soft keys, and you also have a toggle for enabling or disabling the touch ring functionality. And if you want to, you can turn everything off if you want it to be a pure tablet. Okay, let's take a look at the digital pen. And here we have the pen, and much like the press keys on the tablet, you can set the 2 buttons on the pen. You can assign their function globally or per application. I've set mine up very simply. On the first button, the bottom button on the pen, I've assigned the right mouse button. So just select this box to assign it. I haven't named it, no need. I've just checked mouse and mouse right button. And that makes the bottom button on the pen simulate the right mouse button. Just click OK, and then the top button on the pen, and I have named it this time. I've called it undo. Then I've assigned keyboard combination Control and Z. This gives me a secondary undo on the pen, though I am finding at the moment that I'm using the undo on the tablet much more. Okay, let's take a look at the pressure sensitivity. Here's where you set the pressure sensitivity using this slider, and here you can test the pressure sensitivity. At the moment I've got mine set at 2, you can set it at a maximum of 4 all the way down to -4. The higher the number, the harder you have to press to register the pressure. And so the lower the number, the less you have to press to register pressure. So the higher the number, the less sensitive it is, and the lower the number, the more sensitive it is. If I move this all the way up to 4 and draw, as I draw the strokes, I'm having to press reasonably hard, quite hard indeed, to change the width. Then I can clear it with this. Now if I bring it all the way down to -4, as you can see, the attack and decay on the strokes is a lot more abrupt as the pen is much more sensitive. After a little trial and error with Affinity Photo and Capture One, I've settled on 2, which is just right for me. It feels just right for my strokes. I find it gives me just the right amount of control that I need. Okay, while we're here, let's take a quick look at the mode toggles. You can toggle these on and off. This is enable Windows Ink. I don't use it. I always have Windows Ink off, as in Windows it just does weird things that annoy me. Next we have mouse mode. If you toggle this on, it makes the mouse relative like a mouse, where the pointer only moves while your pen is on the tablet. I don't use this either. Now a game mode, according to the documentation, takes away the sensitivity but increases the performance of the pen somehow. I've never tried it, I've got no interest in it, so there we go. Okay, that's the pen. Next up we'll take a look at the work area. Now the work area on your tablet by default comes set up to match the screen ratio, I think. Now you can switch between full area, which will give you the maximum drawing area of your tablet, or screen ratio, and in this mode the tablet will match the ratio of your display, of your monitor. Or if you like, if you want to use a smaller area, maybe you don't want to move your arm so much, or maybe you like less sensitivity, so you like a smaller area, you can shrink the box like so, and then move it into any position on the tablet that you like. Some people are more comfortable with the smaller area, but me, I prefer mine to be the screen ratio. Oh, and you can also type the ratio into these little boxes here by setting the margins. And also you can change the orientation of the tablet and have it for maybe vertical monitors, something like that, but I don't bother. I just keep mine horizontal. Okay, let's quickly look at the About panel. Here you can export your settings or import them or reset back to default. I should really use this to make a backup of my settings. Right, let's take a look at actually using the tablet in Capture One Pro. Okay, here we are in Capture One Pro. It works great in Capture One Pro. It's extremely responsive. And as you can see, if I go over and play with the sliders, it's accurate and responsive. Gorgeous. I can open and close the panels quickly, easily with a single tap. And a note on the sliders, because we set up the touch ring, if you hover over the slider, any slider, then use the touch ring left and right, you can change the value really accurately and finely. And the same with the numeric boxes. Very nice. And if we go over to the strip, the image strip, we can scroll up and down the bar extremely quickly, or if we like, really finely. It's just gorgeous. Quickly tapping to switch between tools is, well, quick. It all just works really well. We can do things like, our cropping is just so responsive and accurate. And we've got the right button functionality on the pen, so I can press the bottom button on the pen to bring up the menus. Lovely. Okay, let's take a look at the touch ring. If I rotate my finger around the touch ring clockwise, I can zoom in, and anti-clockwise I zoom out. It's great. And I can also go over to the strip, and by rotating the touch ring I can scroll the strip up and down. Lovely. Let's zoom right into the image using the touch ring, and then as usual we can just use the pen to pan as we would the mouse. But if we go over, create ourselves a layer and then select the brush, we'll just increase the exposure so that we can see what we're doing, and then we do a little bit of painting. In fact, I'll press the right button on my pen to bring up the brush adjustments, and I'll increase the opacity. It all works really well. And then I'll apply a few strokes like so. But now I want to pan because I want to draw over here, so I'll hold key 5, which I've assigned to space, and drag across the tablet to pan. Touching to zoom out a bit, and then key 5 to pan again. Over to play with this ear. And now I can continue painting away on my little doggy's ear like so. And now I want to shrink my brush, but not much, so I'll use key 3 on the tablet, which I've assigned to shrink the brush. I can make on-the-fly adjustments of the brush size using the buttons on the tablet. Here we go, key 4 to fill this bigger area, and then I want to go into the eyes, so key 3 a few times to shrink it, key 3 again, and around this bit here. Or of course I could press the bottom button of my pen and use the panel to change the size that way. Having the keys and the touch ring for zooming around your image are absolutely fantastic. I can quickly change the brush size, I can drag, I can do edging like so, just edging. Look how quickly I can just edge around there and then change the brush size and fill it in. Lovely. It is superb. I just don't use my mouse at all in Capture One anymore. This is just, it just makes it a breeze, really fluid. And now if I want to quickly go back and fit the whole image into the screen, all I do is press key 1 on my tablet. Then key 2 to zoom in to pixel peep. There we go. And then key 5 and pan as before. Check detail at 100%. Just press key 1 to get back to fit the image on the screen. And if I want to quickly hide the strip, all I have to do is press key 6. And that's it. Strip hidden. I've got more space to view my image for editing, zooming and panning, etc. But let's just press key 6 again to bring back the strip. Now let's just lay down a couple of strokes with the brush. And let's just check the opacity. No, we need to increase the exposure. So here we go. And now if I press key 7, which I've assigned to Ctrl Z, it will line by line and dot by dot get rid of the strokes. And then key 8 to bring them back, which I've assigned to redo. It really is excellent. Now a note on the sensitivity. If you want to make your brush pressure sensitive, let's just get rid of this layer so that I can create another one. I've got my brush set already. Set the exposure to maximum for drawing. If you want to enable pressure sensitivity with your pen, then pen key 1, right click, and set use pen pressure, the checkbox here. Now at the moment I have no pressure sensitivity, my lines are just one thickness. You have to turn on Windows Ink, which you can do in the driver like so. Select digital pen and then enable Windows Ink and OK. And now you have pressure sensitivity, but in Capture One it seems to only affect the stroke width. It seems that you can't use it just to control the opacity. It doesn't bother me, I very rarely, if ever, use pressure sensitivity anyway. What I tend to do is, let's just go and turn the Windows Ink off. What I tend to do when I'm drawing is, let's just bring up the panel. I set my opacity to quite low, which is what I tend to do when I fill areas. Then I'll use multiple passes. I'll paint an area with one pass and then I'll go over it with more passes to get more brightness or more colour. So say I wanted to lighten this tongue, I would go over with one pass, then more passes, more strokes to define the shape and lighten how I wanted to. I find this better. Pressure sensitivity will give you uneven results. And that is using the Huion HS610 graphics tablet with Capture One Pro. And it's superb, super responsive, works really well. In fact, it's so good that I can't use a mouse anymore in Capture One Pro or Affinity Photo, which are my two main programs. It takes a few days for you to get used to it, but stick with it and there'll come a point where you will be completely transformed. In fact, if I can find a way to overcome a few Windows 10 quirks, I may never use a mouse again. I really love it.